Alright, Cine Freaks, my name's Chris, and for the last 50 years, I've been a... Every week in 2026, I'll be sharing my top 10 canny good films that have been released in every year of my life. This week, it's 1980, the start of a new decade, the decade of the blockbuster. But I won't be doing any ordinary top 10. Mine's going to be a Guess the Film quiz.
Oh yeah!
So, if movie trivia and a bit of Geordie banter is your thing, do us a favour, pal. Click that subscribe button, come in, settle down, because you've come to the right place.
Top 10 Canny Good Film Quiz of 1980.
Right, the rules are simple. Guess the film from the 3 clues I'm about to give you before I reveal the answer. If you guess the film from the first clue, you get 4 points. The second clue, 2 points. And if you guess the film on the last clue, it's 1 point. Ready? Let's go. Last week, I asked you to guess which of the 1979 top 10 was my personal favourite. It was Quadrophenia, making it the 5th film to be added to my lifetime top 50. Right, let's get on with the quiz, shall we? This film is the first film in any of my top 10 lists to date that has an exclamation mark in its title. Although having over 50 IMDb credits from 1955 to 1979, this 1980s film is regarded as launching the second career for this comedic actor. The tagline for this film is, "You've read the ad, now see the movie." You know, sometimes when you laugh so hard, it hurts. Yeah, this film did that to me more than once. It is, of course, Airplane. Not currently available to stream for free anywhere in the UK. However, I've got it on DVD, along with its sequel. The executive producer of this film was Mel Brooks. The director of this film was working as a roofer at the time he was offered the job. Did you work that one out? The film is The Elephant Man. David Lynch is one of those directors who, for me personally, I just surrender every time I see his work. I just let him take me where he wants to go. Anyway, it's not available to stream anywhere for free in the UK, so this one, I don't have it on DVD, so it's going on my list.
You just made the list!
This film has the honour of being the first sequel to join its predecessor in my top 10 lists. But which one? Due to bad weather while filming, moving equipment became a hazard, so much so that they decided to shoot a lot of the scenes just behind the hotel where the crew was staying at. Makes sense. Back in the 90s, some of my college mates wrote and recorded a song about one of the animals in this film. Anyway, later on it got turned into an animation, and in 2001 it won the George Lucas Fan Film Award. True story. Did you work that one out? It was The Empire Strikes Back, my favourite from all of the Star Wars film franchise. Anyway, it's only available to stream behind Disney paywalls or on physical media. Oh, and that song I was on about? It's called Christmas Tauntaun's. I'll put a link to it down below. Ed, Kirsty, Vicky, I hope you're all doing well. Time to take a little break from the quiz now as we look back at what was happening in and around Newcastle in 1980. 1980 was the year that the landscape of the Northeast changed forever. In August of this year, the Tyne-and-Wear Metro opened its first 14 stops and ran trains from the Haymarket in the city centre to the Long Sands at Tynemouth. However lads, get your trunks on, we're going to the coast. All us Geordies were celebrating in 1980 as our beloved home Newcastle turned 900. We had events all over the city and we even got a little visit from the Queen Mum. Your Majesty. In June 1980, Eldon Square was packed with hundreds of Geordies and squealing girls as the world's #1 men's tennis player Bjorn Borg flew into town, although he nearly didn't make it due to the bad weather on his flight. Anyway, he popped by, he said hello, and then he went down to London, done this little thing called Wimbledon, and won it for the 5th time, beating John McEnroe. 1980 saw Geordie rocker Brian Johnson join rock band AC/DC and release the album Back in Black. That album, according to most sources, went on to become the 2nd best-selling album of all time, ever. Go on, lad. Right, enough of this. Let's get back to the quiz. The film director George Lucas wanted to turn this comic strip into a film, however someone had already acquired the rights to it, so instead he wrote Star Wars. This film's soundtrack and the soundtrack to the 1986 film Highlander were written, recorded and performed by the same Royal Rock Band.
Gordon's alive!
Did that last clue help at all? It was, of course, Flash Gordon. It's not available to stream for free anywhere in the UK, and I don't currently own this on DVD, so I'm going to get myself down to charity shops to hunt it out. A century ago, a hideous crime was committed by the town's elders. Now, the restless dead have returned for revenge. Cine freaks, I've got some important news. This fella, John Carpenter, he's the first director to have a hat-trick of films in my lifetime top 500. Huh? Go on, John. Wonder if anyone will beat him. The name of this film is also in the title of a classic Geordie anthem. On the town is all mine, on the town is all mine. Way, how way, man, you can't tell me you didn't work to trim that. The film, of course, was The Fog by John Carpenter. It's available to stream on Prime with a subscription, or you can get down to the charity shops and hunt it out. I bet there's some real good special edition ones of this kicking about somewhere.
Oh, for F's sake.
1980 saw the release of Heaven's Gate, a western so expensive and such a massive flop it literally bankrupted United Artists. Sherry Lansing made history this year by becoming the first ever female president of production at a major Hollywood studio, 20th Century Fox. Go on, lass. In 1980, Pioneer launched the Laserdisc in America and Japan. We didn't get it over here in the UK for a few years, but by then, we were all in love with videotapes. It was never going to take off. In 1980, the Australian government introduced the 10BA tax allowance scheme. Basically, it was a tax avoidance scheme where you could write off your assets and your profits against movie production. Bonus for us common folk was, we got a boom in Aussie films for the next 10 years.
Oh, for F's sake.
For its genre, this film started one of the most successful media franchises in the history of America. This film was the first independent slasher film to ever be picked up by a major Hollywood studio, Paramount Pictures. The 12 films in this franchise have grossed more than $468 million in box office receipts. The film, if you hadn't worked it out, was Friday the 13th. It's not available to stream anywhere for free that I could find. However, it is available from most good charity shops for less than the price of a cup of tea. This film is the third film to be made by former British production company Handmade Films. The two previous were Monty Python's Life of Brian and A Sense of Freedom. In this film, the lead character gives a famous speech saying something along the lines of "miles and miles of land for our future prosperity." At the time, he's pointing to a row of derelict buildings and warehouses. Where that stands today is Canary Wharf. This is one of the most accurate movie predictions in cinema history. Nearly everything you talked about building was built. This is the fourth film in my top 10 list to date with 4 words in the title. Did you work that one out? The film was The Long Good Friday, a classic piece of British cinema starring Bob Hoskins. It is available online to stream, but you have to pay for it, so probably the best way to get your hands on this is get down to the charity shops and pick it up on DVD. Well, I couldn't do my top 10 list without a few other notable mentions now, could I? Turns out I'd seen 49 films released this year. Here's a few of them that are worth a watch but didn't quite make me top 10. Anyway, 3 films to go. How's your points total doing? This film is based on the true story of criminal turned author who was once dubbed Public Enemy #1. Wait, what? Who's in charge of the spell checking? Sorry, Public Enemy #1. The jail scenes in this film, although filmed in Ireland, they represented Durham Jail, which is less than half an hour down the road from where I'm currently standing.
Oh, do love an arsehole, these Geordies.
What a film, what a soundtrack, what a performance. It was Mick Vicker. Again, it's a pay to play, the title, this one, so you know what I'm going to say by now. The boxer depicted in this film was only ever knocked down once in over 100 career fights. Impressive. This film represents the 4th time that this director and this actor have worked together, but only the 2nd time that their films have made my top 10 list. The first was in 1976. To show both sides of his character, the lead actor of this film went from 10 stone 10 to just over 15 stone while filming, gaining 60 pounds in weight. Of course it was going to make an appearance in my top 10, wasn't it? It's Raging Bull, it's Robert De Niro, it's Martin Scorsese, it's DVD, physical media, 10 pence. You don't want to be paying Netflix prices to watch a classic like this, do you? You want to own it forever, like me. This is the 2nd novel from this author to be turned into a film. The first was Carrie in 1976. Possibly inspired by The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the number 42 is prevalent throughout this film. Need examples? There are 42 cars in the hotel car park. Danny's jumper has the number 42 on it. The film that Danny watches with his mother is The Summer of 42. In the room 237, 2 times 3 times 7 is... In the original book, there was only one murdered girl. However, inspired by the work of photographer Diane Arbus, the director decided he wanted to use twins, and he hired real-life identical twin sisters, Lisa and Louise Burns. Well, you can hardly call yourself a cine freak if you weren't able to work that one out. It was, of course, The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. It is available to stream behind paywalls, but if you've seen haul video number 3, I'll put a link down below. You'll see I picked it up on DVD for 10 pence. Well, that's me done with 1980. What a way to start the decade, eh? How's your quiz total doing? Was your favourite film in my top 10? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you're there, take a guess as to what my favourite film was, and I'll let you know next week. Till then, Canny.